Hello, ladies and gentlemen. For fucking sakes, we did it. We got through this godforsaken year. And I'm today joined by the illustrious Mariah, last name pending.
Right. Still working on that.
Yeah.
But when
Sure. Yeah.
when I have it right there in the freaking title of the podcast.
Yeah.
I'm gonna name it.
Still gonna have you as Madam Mariah in the front of it,
to.
just to keep your. You know what? Honestly, though, like if when we do end up doing like our weekly podcasts in the future, Madam Mariah's den or something along those lines.
Yeah, for sure. We'll work out all the details on it for sure. but yeah, I actually have Bree working on it with me, because before starting off, what made it very difficult for me to like try to pick a last name was like trying to figure out what kind of like embodied me, what defined me.
Right.
But as time went on, I found out that I had like another obstacle, another challenge.
Which is?
It's not just going to be me having that last name now. So it would be very selfish to think of a name. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a
you know what I mean?
surprise for a later date.
No. She knows.
No, but I'm talking about like other people listening. The last thing you need is crazy ass Taco Bell, like hearing this shit.
Oh, I don't give a. I could care less.
Or Chick-fil-A. Or Popeyes. I mean to say.
I could care. That's not.
And I understand that your lady doesn't like us using names like that, but it's better. It's just simply to protect the anonymity of others.
I am as open and as free as I've ever been, and the things that like I've been learning and experiencing is that like that's how I have to live my life. Funny enough, my godmother reached out to me probably about 3 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a woman that I have not. She's my godmother, but she's also the mother of my first cousin. So she got with my uncle, and so played that dual role. And I haven't seen her and talked to her in over, it had to be like 15 years, honestly. And the reasons were, my mom's a pastor, and so she started moving more in that direction. And just as any growth, not everybody can grow with you, and you have to figure out who you're going to keep in your life and not. Mm-hmm. Well, she was one of those who couldn't adapt and grow too. My mother's liking, and so I haven't talked to this woman.
And I'm sure there's no like love lost.
Absolutely not.
It's just one of those cases where it's like just different life paths.
In my eyes, she's more of an aunt to me than she is a godmother, because like this is still my cousin's mom. You know what I mean? My first cousin's mom. Right. This isn't a stranger to me. Like,
she's family.
Exactly.
It's like my godmother is like my mother's best friend from high school. She is the godmother of me and my sister. Mm-hmm. And quite frankly, if my parents died while we were still younger, that's who would be taking care of us.
Exactly. Now, although
then you have what is it about God like parents that's just like they're either they're either like rock
very,
solid,
very present or not,
or non-existent. Like my dad, like my godfather is like my blood father's like fraternity brother. Who's like his wife's so Catholic that even though she despises her husband Scott, like she's just they sleep in different bedrooms because it's like
yeah, I couldn't tell you.
Me neither. I got a good godmother. I couldn't.
Well, mine, like I said, I haven't talked to her, and she texted me. And I thought it was like I had to do more of like around it's New Year's, the holidays. She's just reaching out. It's been so long, maybe it's that. So she says, and I don't have her number. I haven't talked to her. She says, oh, hey, can you ask your mom to call me? Like, I've been thinking about you guys, blah, 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 like, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay, one, this is odd because my mom's number hasn't changed forever. She's had a cell phone longer.
It's a couple things. One, she doesn't have your mom's number anymore.
But somebody on that side does.
Second, she, and this is much more likely. No. Second, it hasn't even tried your mother yet, and to even test it. And third, and I think this is the most likely, she's not emotionally ready to just straight up call out of nowhere. Mm. She wants that. I think she's using you as a bit of a proxy.
And that's what I thought as well, right? That's what I thought as well. I was thinking all these different things of why, but that was the one that I was leaning towards the most. And so I did just that. I called my mom and I told her, and she said, "Sure, give me her number," right? And I thought that was going to be that, and I didn't respond to her because I didn't really know what to say. Right. So my mom hits me up the next day and she says, "Be careful who you talk to and who you trust and blah, 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 all these things," right? And at first I was really like listening, like, where is she coming from? Like, I didn't think one had anything to do with the other. Mm-hmm. She tells me that she doesn't think that my godmother called for any other reason than to find out who I was dating, right? And I thought that was very strange, and I thought my mom might have been reaching, like, why, she was like, my mom was like, I didn't ask her who her kids were dating or anything like that. She didn't ask about, me. It was eventually it just got to that, right? And so she goes on, and when I first interpreted what my mom was saying, I thought she wanted me to hide. Like, sorry,
she's coming from the place of, I need to protect my baby.
Exactly. And that's when I had to, like, calm down a bit and say, like, this isn't coming out of a place of malice or trying to be hurtful. But I told her, first I was just gonna let her go by and, just say, like, okay, Mom, like, the usual, just, yes, Mom. But I asked her, I was like, why does it matter? You know what I mean? Like, those people on my father's side of the family I haven't talked to in the same amount of time I have for her, about 15 years.
So what right do they even have?
What right do they have?
Like, why does their opinion matter?
And why does it... Because here's the thing, if anybody were to meet me in person today, you could probably very well tell the type of people that I date. Not that doesn't matter at all, because I don't look at people and be like, wow, I wonder if they're gay or not. I wonder if they're, like, fucking a girl or a guy, like, that's just this weird, twisted world.
They're wondering, would that person fuck me?
At that point, yeah.
I'll tell you maybe a handful of names after the podcast, but, like, there have been some guys who have said, like, yo, I fuck the shit out of Mariah, and I'm like, ew, like, I'm like, no, like the idea of us being naked in each other in the same room makes me very sad.
Yeah,
like it's not, it's like it's like my sister. It would be
after very unfortunate circumstances, meaning, like, we got robbed in the middle of like
a back alley,
exactly,
and like a bad part of Staten Island.
Yep. Like Staten Island. Well, I don't know. Like, I don't think I'd be any scared of anybody like robbing me in Staten Island. No offense to anybody. My problem is, but I get what you mean.
My thing is that, like, fucking New York is so gentrified at this point. And, like, what the fuck is dangerous anymore?
I get what you mean. There's still parts.
Yeah, there's certain part of the Bronx and some parts of Queens, but it's like Harlem's gentrified as hell. Brooklyn's gentrified as hell. Manhattan is
but
Manhattan
that's the same
is
thing.
like.
But that's, you could say the same thing with Wilmington. As gentrified as Wilmington has become, from before, on the outside looking in, you don't live in New York, so you wouldn't know the nooks and crannies of the places not to go.
True.
From anybody looking in, they're like, oh, Wilmington's such a great place now. Have you seen the riverfront? Have you seen, like, Market Street? Have you seen all these?
Charlie,
have you seen Charlie? Have you seen Rodney?
But then you go 10 blocks in a certain direction.
You and I know because we live here, so it's the same thing. the
Right.
same
And,
thing. You
and,
go
and,
to
and
those
there's
places.
neutral zones. It's like there's places that are like in between, like
Absolutely.
cheap enough from rent, close enough to the hood where like the property values are low enough that you can get a decent rate
that
on
you
rent.
can get hit by a stray bullet. Exactly.
Right. Yeah. But that's life. And places that like if you stay indoors, you will be okay.
For the most part, but okay from what? Like, what are we afraid of though?
Nothing.
What are we afraid of?
And that's a good point. It's like at the end of the day,
What
it's
are we
like
afraid of?
we live in a world where we can work from home and live our and we don't need like I will say it's it's at the end of the day though I think one of the interesting things I find about Wilmington is that the crime that happens here, the gun crime, it's all done by children.
I mean, yeah.
When I say children, I mean
I know what
teenagers.
I know what you mean.
And I'm not really scared of a 13-year-old.
That's not who you should be scared of. You should be scared of the gun and the bullet that they would
because they don't have understand the gravity of what they're
exactly. But even that like what you should be afraid of, like why would you be like afraid of dying anyways? Like what are you afraid of? Like the inevitable, you know what I mean?
I think I think that I myself have put. You know what I'm afraid of? I don't think I'm afraid myself of dying. I'm afraid of making the people who love me very sad.
Okay.
That's the reason I didn't, back when during a teenager too.
I understand.
It's like I think there's a lot of people on this who went through a very bad suicidal part of their life who basically didn't do it because it would make somebody that they love very deeply very very sad.
I understand, but eventually that person is going to be deeply sad.
Mm-hmm.
So, what difference does it make?
The difference I think is that it's the choice, but it's the difference between a choice you make and a choice that in something that was out of your hands.
All of it is out of your hands. That person couldn't have stopped you. I was actually looking at a post Bree showed me, and it was this woman, and she had her Instagram set up to automatically do it, and she said, if you're reading this, I am gone. I am either dead or I am in the hospital incapacitated to the point that my Instagram automatically posted this, but I hope it's the first one. And she was just, it wasn't like she was like, there was nothing. She was like, this isn't gonna be that type of like letter. Like there was really nothing that anybody could have done. Like she appreciates everything, but there was absolutely nothing
Life
more
sucked, and there's nothing anybody could have done to make things better.
Exactly. So even those people who were still so sad that this happened, there was nothing that you could do to stop it. So I go back to the whole fear about it. There's only a fear because it's not talked about enough. Our society, our culture hides death so much that it's feared, and nobody, a great percentage of people haven't even been in a room with a dying person.
Right, but shouldn't death that is not a person's choice and not a person's time?
Who determines these times?
Your age or general health.
Yeah, but who determines when it is time for somebody to go and when it's not?
I think that is a philosophical question that but with your faith and my lack thereof, are inequipped to answer in this podcast.
I completely agree with that. I do. But as far as saying like, oh, this you looking at you and what your DNA is made up of, you're going to live on this earth for 82 years.
My DNA is actually the thing I'm terrified the most of in terms of my health. My mother has a thing called lipoprotein A, and what it basically means is that even if I ate a vegan diet, my heart would still clog up. My father had a half dozen heart attacks and strokes over the course of his life. That being said, he was very prone to drink, as you very well know. My mother has a deep history of breast cancer in her family. My father has a history of epilepsy, which shows in me, as well as bipolar. Taking the mental stuff away, I wager that I only can consume the way I consume until the age of 30.
30?
At which time, I'm almost going to have to force myself to do a drastic change in both diet and lifestyle.
I understand that, and that is
not to prevent, but to stave off.
Absolutely, yeah.
I fully expect that I am not going to die of old age.
Okay.
I'm going to end up dying of a heart attack or a disease or something that is genetically in me because two people that are, quite frankly, genetic monstrosities in terms of their bad profile made a child.
Okay. And
my sister is probably going to have to fight with breast cancer repeatedly in her lifetime because she is a woman with knockers the size of fucking Cancun. Where, at the end of the day, I know that I might not live as long as my contemporaries because of these, but my goal is I'm not one of those people that wants to be remembered. In the sense, I want to do things in this world that will help people's lives. I don't need a book to be written about me, but I want the deeds that I do to be written about, or the people that I've helped to have books written about them. I'm fine being a background character and can die happy knowing that I was able to make a change in enough people's lives that the world is a better place. Because what good is greatness if you're not able to give that greatness to others after you're gone? It is better to live in the shadows and help others in great capacities as a silent and hidden guardian angel than it is to flaunt and be a savior in the public and spend more time relishing in your fame than actually doing good that helps others, even though those people like that tend to be remembered more.
No, I completely agree with
I fully expect to, when I start a charity or nonprofit, to help people, to slowly build a business class in Wilmington of people who are born and bred here, and turn Wilmington into in 50 years start the process of turning Wilmington into an economic powerhouse. I'm going to put somebody who is so generically part of the demographics of the city at that time, who exudes the values and grew up in the lifestyle that most Wilmingtonians would have, that they won't even question that he's just a figurehead for the person behind it. Because at the end of the day,
the puppet and the puppeteer.
Because here's the thing. I want to help people, and I don't want that help to be discredited by something as esoteric as white savoritism. Which is, it is true that might be the case. But I'm not helping people. I want the future generations of this city to not have to worry, regardless of where they live in the city. I don't want them to worry of a mother to worry if their child is going to live to see the age of 18. Am I going to be able to do it? Am I going to be able to do it all? Probably not, but you know what? I would hope that I could at least get the ball rolling, and 100 years from now, Wilmington is a place where is not just it's not just a banking capital for a bunch of Fortune 500 companies. It's a place where all the people of where everybody who lives in this city and has history in the city has wealth.
Okay, so that all sounds like something that I could get behind. That when the time comes, I will be like right there, like whatever it takes.
But that's gonna be 40 years from now.
And say you don't have that time. You say that you already know that you're gonna have complications early on, and so you were preparing for that by trying to grind at a younger age as hard as you can because of those reasonings, which is putting more stress and cutting your time down. Isn't that, a paradox by itself? The more that you push yourself, the less time you're actually giving.
I don't stress about my longest term goals for that reason.
Yeah.
I have a month-long goal, a 3-month goal, a 6-month goal, a year-long goal, a 2-year-long goal, a 5-year-long goal, a 10-year-long goal. I have and these goals are not set in stone. They're fluid. They are not concrete. The longest term ones are general things I want to do overall. In the future.
So
how I get there is up in the air.
Say you're walking down the street, you collapse, you wake up in the hospital, and the doctor says, Evan, your friend told me about your whole, escapade that you plan on having, but we're going to have to cut that short to, I don't know, we'll give you 7 days. It's not happening. What your dream, your goal, none of them. Not your year, not your none of them. Not your 2-month, none of those goals that you set can physically be reached now. Okay?
What do I do?
What now? What do you do now? Take away that stuff. What do you do? What do you do to not only think about yourself, but still try to impact the world at the same scale or whatever as your, right?
I think if there's anything I could do, it would be this. I would divvy up. I would do it this way. I would spend the first day writing a will. First day writing a will. I would spend the second day calling family, talking with them, spending time.
Matter of fact, we'll make it interesting. You may have 7 days. It's no guarantee. You may have 7 days. If
there's one thing I would do.
So you can plan for your 7 days, but there's no guarantee that you'll be able to get to all of them.
Then let's just say 3 hours. If I may have 7 days, I'm guaranteed to have at least at max 3 hours.
I agree with that.
I would put out the very last podcast.
Okay.
I would talk about my laments. I would talk about my life. I would send love to loved ones broadly. And that'd be the first 30, 40 minutes. In the next 2.5 hours, if there's anything I could leave behind in the world, I might not be able to do my lifelong plan, but what I could certainly do is give the possibility. I would explain my business model in its entirety, point by point, bit by bit. Because frankly, what I've built business-wise is a model that can be repeated by any person from any economic class. Yes, if you have more money, you could certainly pay for advertising and do all these lovely things to make life easier. But if I'm not able to do my ultimate end goal, what I can certainly do is leave 2 things. The manifesto of that goal, and hope that somebody is inspired to take it and run with it. Someone with more time than me. And the second is my business model, as well as the books you would read to fully get it. And with that, I would hope that some person in the city or some person who's downtrodden and needs help somewhere in our country could do it. All you need to build this is at minimum, a library card.
Okay.
Because if you have access, if you're able to gather access to the internet, this business is 100% doable. As long as you take the correct steps and you don't rush.
Okay.
I would of course write, and while I'm doing this, I would of course be writing letters and like stuff like that, write a will, obviously, but those two things would be the things I leave behind, because at the end of the day, I know this system works, and it's as simple as follow the plan, have a job to pay the bills. Like, vote, pay your bills, pay your taxes, do everything you need to do. And this is your hobby. In fact, one of the core tenets of this business is, how can I monetize what I love to do? And how can I take that and turn it into my job or a business? Anything can be fitted into this model. Anything can. The model of talking into a microphone, recording yourself and putting it on YouTube. There are apps you can get apps on both platforms that allow you to record on your phone, that allow you to record, publish, edit, everything. You can edit with effects and everything on YouTube for a video for YouTube and upload it and have it good to go. You can record, edit audio, upload it to the Anchor app, and have a podcast up within 10 minutes and get paid. You can set up a Patreon or an OnlyFans so people can contribute to you if they like you. It's all about consistency, it's all about authenticity, and it's all about doing what you love. And it takes time. Sometimes what you're doing is sometimes you're doing it in a saturated market. So it takes time.
I agree. But what I also heard in all of that is that even on your deathbed, work.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, Mariah, I found out that more than video games, more than music, more than sex, more than anything,
work is your thing.
It's not even work. Like, it's.
I mean,
like when I say work, like, there's a difference between work and my business. Because my business is my hobby, my business is my passion. Work is what I do to finance everything else in my life until my business is able to finance me.
So, yeah, I get that, but you get what
I do.
You know.
I'll work. You're worried I'll work myself to death.
No, I'm not worried about that. How you die, Evan, I don't know. But it will be a glorious death. It would be from you saying the wrong thing to the right person. And boy, will it be a story to be told.
I'm sure my funeral will not be a day. Will not be an event of sadness and sorrow. It will be a day of laughs and jovial ribbing and it's just joy. It will
be a death worthy of Evan. I can tell you that much.
I imagine people telling jokes, people talking about the dumb shit I did.
Yes.
Joking, laughing. I expect I envision my loved ones crying through their laughter, unable to hold in the gut feelings of joy in a time of incredible sorrow.
Man,
but in turn, no, it's not the end, and honestly, talking about it is irrelevant, pointless, even.
It's good to talk about it, though.
It is. It's humbling.
You.
It's humbling.
It's not only humbling, but it's an experience. We're all, think about it, the people that are in your generation are just walking you to that. We're all walking each other to it, you know? And some go earlier and some will, finish that walk before you, but that's like...
What what defines greatness? Because, well, quite frankly, I was having this conversation with my dear friend, Brian Ortega. He thinks greatness is being remembered and loved and standing in front of thousands of people all chanting your name. I think greatness is, who are you? What did you stand for? And with those two questions answered, how many people were impacted by your actions? The most successful people in this world, very nice, very professional. Keanu Reeves isn't the darling of the internet because he acts like Joe Budden on his podcast with other celebrities. Same thing can be said for Tyler Perry. The most successful people in the world are very nice, very professional. I'm nice. I'm professional. I figured out a long time ago that antagonizing and angering people, especially in the professional environment, is it as good as it feels in the moment, it never pays dividends. I am kind to random strangers on the street. I communicate with random strangers on the street. I may not remember every single person I talk to in a day, but I bet your ass that at least half of them remember their interaction with me when they go home at night.
No,
When I walk down the streets of Wilmington, people sometimes, at least when I walk down the streets of Wilmington, pre-COVID sunny summer day, someone always recognizes me. I can see it in their eyes.
Hell yeah, I can agree with that.
I do actually have a question for you.
Alright.
What have you learned this year?
I learned a lot this year. I learned a lot of different things this year. I learned, I learned to, not be so selfish and to let go of things that need to be let go of.
You let go of $1,000 computer. I could say you got pretty fucking good at that skill. Adios mio.
Yeah. But I as I was going along with like learning all these different things, like at the end it was just like a firework of explosion of like why I've been learning all these lessons. And so as far as the lessons, like I said, letting go of people, of things, and not like just toxic things, but because maybe you're the toxic one, maybe you're the one who needs to like let it go in order for things to get better for that person.
The ability to get to cut loved ones out of your life is a extremely difficult skill to acquire, but immensely valuable when achieved.
Absolutely. And sometimes I would like to tell myself that, like, or I used to tell myself that it would get easier,
No.
But
when the owners, there's no reason for anybody to stay in an emotionally manipulative relationship.
Yeah, for sure. Either way, whether it's you that's the victim or
the aggressor.
Exactly. What else did I learn? I learned to be way more open-minded about everything. But like I said, it's just, foreshadowing for what was like to come. And so like as I became more open to like different aspects in my life and even just open about myself and like who I am, like who I really was, I feel like I've like undergone like a identity change, or maybe even like a death. You
have changed a bit, but I would say that you're still yourself. What you value has changed a bit.
Yeah.
You value stability more. You value emotional stability more. You value simplicity. You don't... Despite you've always said you don't like drama. But yet, now you're actually taking actions to avoid it.
Yeah, I did say that. I used to say I didn't like drama, but drama was always, like, around, and I might not have been, like, the key, but it... Mostly all of the drama could have been avoided, but now it's not drama. Like, I'm just being me, and your
woman is the first person you have ever been with that I actually like having around.
Yeah, I like having her around too. Nah, but I get what you mean.
I remember a brisk day. I remember a brisk day in September where you and I were driving to Christiana Mall to see your lady. And it was after that day where you and I had a conversation that I saw this change begin in earnest. You were downtrodden, angry, frustrated, dealing with drama from crazy women who, let's be real, were a little cum drunk on the Mariah train.
Yeah, it was.
And then I told you that I was, and I did voice my worry to you about you possibly having an untimely end at the hands of somebody with a axe to grind.
And at the time, I feared death. And so it really...
And you want to know how I knew you feared that?
It stuck with me.
You said you were okay with that possibility.
Yeah.
You said that I'm probably going to end up... Like, nobody who's actually okay with death says that. They just don't talk about it.
Yeah.
And then we see Bree come out with a fucking ray of sunshine behind her, looking as angelic and sexy as...
What the fuck was that? She just came out of nowhere, like perfection. Just like, it's like slow motion. The wind was blowing. Her hair was like golden.
And I remember saying something along the lines,
wow.
And I remember seeing her come, and I saying something along the lines to you of, that is your healthy, happy future. I know you don't listen to me a whole ton when I talk to you about these stuffs. But for God's sake, I hope now you do. Well, you do. Oh, yes, true. You do listen, but you never fucking follow it. And then you end up coming to me pissy about some bullshit that like fucking Taco Bell tried to like slash your tires or some shit.
Yeah, please.
You know, and I'm like, it's like you're with your friend we were talking to on the phone. At a certain point, the onus is on you to act right.
Yep.
Your loved ones, the people who care about you, have said things to you repeatedly.
Oh, you have to be that.
At
change.
the end of the day, at the end of the day, in certain situations like that, the only person who can help you is yourself.
Yep, you gotta be that change you want to see. You know, you want your situation to be different. It has to start with you. It absolutely, like, it's not gonna happen by itself. It may, like, feel like it's getting better at times, like, oh, well, I didn't do anything, and things seem to be working themselves out, but it won't, because it'll happen again and again, and because that's what life is. It's just problems, and each time, like, you have to, like, your problems aren't really problems, they're actually gifts. It's showing you where you need work, where you need to strengthen yourself, you know, things that even your fears that you have, you know, and these strength is just weakness is fear, strength, essentially.
On that theme of failure, I have another question for you.
Okay.
I remember we were talking earlier today, you said that you wouldn't change a single failure that you had this year because it led you to where you are now.
Absolutely.
What do you feel was the biggest failure you had that made the biggest impact on your present?
Well, I can't even gauge that because, like, it could have been what I thought was the biggest to me, and the outcome, like, of it changing might not have changed as much. But
what do you
what
think was
I
the
felt,
most impactful?
what I felt, I would have to think about that. What I feel could have possibly been the most impactful. Failure.
What do you think?
For me, it would definitely be like the amount of like pain that was like caused at the hand of me, regardless of who it was to. Like, there wasn't just one like woman like crying to me about something, you know what I mean, that I played a part in. And so
I admit it myself. I was with you when you were cheating on one of your others.
So it's like you know, I would have loved to, you know, me now to have not had to have gone through that, but like that's the catch. It's the catch. You have to love those things, those mistakes that you made, because
if you don't, you'll just drown in the guilt
and
sorrow.
Exactly. You have to love. It's always been, even in your downfalls, it's still love, you know.
I just want to say this. I remember watching you and Leah after we came back from that hookah bar. And I remember saying to you, I love you, I got your back, but I don't approve of what you're doing.
I don't even remember you necessarily saying it. Might have been worded differently.
That was basically the message I was saying. I don't remember the exact wording because it was 2 years ago, but
yeah.
You know, it's like to see you today, faithful, happy, healthy, living your best life, about to start your own little enterprise along with me. I'm excited. I'm happy. And you know, I always felt a complex, if not complex and negative aura around you that wasn't indicative of you as a person, but I felt it was strange. It's like every person you interacted with, up to, like, there's always problems. And I was always curious as to why it was never you and I having those issues.
I think it had a lot to do with like who I was, you know. 'Cause I don't think that everybody was like problematic and I was just
no.
You know what I mean?
No, I think, let me reiterate.
Yeah, no, I get exactly what you're saying.
People were expecting something out of you that you weren't able to give, and I think the people in your life that you were the closest with understand exactly who and what you are. We don't expect anything more. We don't expect any less. We love you for who you are.
Yeah, nah. I get what you mean, but yeah, I mean,
what do you feel is like the most? So I know you've been very interested in philosophy for a while. I remember seeing you and Naomi going to StoicCon last year.
Yeah.
What is the most impactful piece of philosophy you've consumed this year?
Most impactful for me this year would have to be it would either have to be like being here right now in the moment, being very present minded, you know, or just like being nobody, like becoming, like stripping all of like
the superficial aspects away,
and I feel like I'm slowly like sinking into like that nobodiness. Like I feel parts of me, things that I used to care about, like I don't care about as much. And it's not that I don't care, but that's just not me. I don't feel why I need to attach it to myself. Like, why can't I just have it exist in the world just like I am? You know, it doesn't need to be.
And when you say that, you're talking.
So it frees my, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but.
And when you say that, what do you're talking about different personality traits?
Yeah, traits, labels, whatever it is, whatever you think of when you think of Mariah, whatever that is, and it may be different to you, for it is, you know, for somebody else, whatever it is, that's not, you know, me, you know, it is me because it's the me that the world has made. Like, you know, you don't know your favorite song until somebody, you know, plays it for you, you know. It's so you are you, and your parents are somebody too because somebody made them. But I'm talking about, like, you know.
Yeah, I know.
Breaking those down and understanding like who I am.
Yeah. I do. I'm proud. I'm happy that you're finding these, but sometimes I do worry that you don't. I hope that in the process of stripping those away, the unnecessary, you don't take away what you like, what you're interested in.
Oh, yeah,
you know, because don't get me wrong, I understand that you love doing everything with Brie, but I also want to make sure that like the things that you like doing, and that's
a part of being like present-minded. The reason why you can't
that's
enjoy
exactly why I told you earlier today.
Yeah,
try to play at least 4 hours of video games a week.
But that's exactly why I told you today. Being the reason why we can't enjoy the things that we used to is because we're too concerned about the things that, like, the adult stuff that we have. You can't sit there and play the game for too long. Why? Because you feel like you're wasting your time. You could have been so much more productive in some other area because, you know... Hold on before I get in trouble.
Yeah, let me pause this. So... No, I feel like part of the reason we don't enjoy games and movies and books and all that what we used to is, you know, because
too busy thinking about the wrong things. You can't. When you enjoyed it as a child, everything was so innocent.
It was the only thing I did for fun.
Exactly. It was once again your escape, but it was escaping from what, like, you know, homework or whatever, you know. And some
to me like, I will say, to me it was a lot deeper than that. I mean, for me it was an escape of the hell world I was living with them in emotionally. And
it is what it is for everybody is different, you know. But like
at the end of the day, you and I still have the same issue.
Yeah, we still have the same issue, but now we don't have somebody who's taking care of us. We can think about those issues and be as worried as we want to be as a child
but we still
about it.
But we still had
pay. Yeah, but we had a roof over our head. We still
food
getting
in our bellies, clothes on our back,
and still enjoying life. It might be like hell, but like we're living a sustained life. Now we still have those same things, you know, that we're supposed to be worried about. But now, got to be worried about that and how you're gonna continue living to worry.
I think that's part of the reason why I'm happy I have a 9 to 5, because like I'm not working outside of it. But then I have this business, and I feel like if I'm not working on it, I'm wasting time. Yeah. And the life you live is very hustle minded. You're working when you're awake. Like if you have to schedule free time, otherwise you're not going to have any.
Very true, but I feel like my approach now is very different, because I feel like, although, you know, yeah, bills still have to be paid and everything, other parts and areas in my life aren't as like taxing. You know, I'm not spending like a whole bunch of money on clothes and all these different,
it's superficial
things. Exactly, all the superficial things.
Anything I mean, the things you spend your money on?
Weed. Weed, that's it.
I spend my money on new equipment to make my business better.
Yeah, so
stocks, investment accounts, things like that.
So, because my my view on life is different. My lifestyle is now changed. So, like, because I'm seeing it different, it's now like able to make things manifest. So, I don't have to work as much because on the other realm and here, logically, I'm spending less money. You know, so I wouldn't. So it's good. I feel like once again, it's more of that whole freedom thing. It's free.
You certainly do live a more free life, but your life is more precarious. You know, if DoorDash gets a certain nail from the government, but you'll always find work. You'll always, but it's certainly something like the gig economy is certainly much more liberating than any job. I do what I do because I know that right now I have to work my tail off at a 9 to 5, get work on this, but I know that 10 years from now, as long as I'm consistent and I work hard and I put stuff out every day, keep going, eventually I'll make enough money off of this that I can grow the business and live a reasonable life. I'm not a expensive man. I don't enjoy cars, booze, women. Like, I have a great woman. I enjoy good food, but I don't drink. I don't trip. I don't smoke. I don't have expensive tastes or hobbies. I mean, you've seen my wardrobe. It's basically boots, blue jeans, and black t-shirt.
Yeah, no, it's definitely more humble than most. But yeah, no, I'm the same way. I don't know. I'm just enjoying it. I'm enjoying every moment. I was just telling you, like, I'm enjoying this moment right here, right now.
In hindsight of 2020, in hindsight of this year, of all the upheaval in both our lives and in society and in the economy, you've had a lot of good, as have I.
Yeah, 2020 is my 2020 is not your 2020. If there's anything that's my slogan for this year.
My 2020 is not your 2020. Make no mistake, a lot of people are hurting. A lot of people are struggling.
Absolutely.
A lot of people are having a really hard time.
Absolutely.
But not you or me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we and we're not. That's not lost on us.
No. Very, very grateful. Very, very grateful. But I also feel like, regardless, because we very well could have, been swept in fear just like everybody else.
Yeah.
But
we have plenty of friends. I mean, you and I both have friends who are immunocompromised.
Yeah.
Both of our girlfriends, if they catch COVID, they're fucked. If you catch COVID, you're fucked.
I'm done. Yeah. But just knowing that you have to keep going, and regardless, and just just keep going and
keep rolling.
Yep.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years, do you think?
God, I could be anywhere. I could be anywhere in 5 years. I wouldn't be able to tell you where I could possibly be in 5 years, and I mean that wholeheartedly. That's not even like a joke because I really don't know, but I can tell you that, like, I've never been more excited about
life
moments, like every individual moment, that, like, even knowing that I could possibly have 5,000 years worth of moments gets me excited in this very moment. So it's great. That's how like my days go, and the things that I think about, it keeps me high off life, even whether I'm on it or off it. You know, that's it's just gets me smiling thinking about it. You know.
What do you think so aside from things we've talked about, what's the next thing you're going to work on, you think? What's this, when I say that, I mean, what's the next thing you're going to learn? What's the next project you're going to work on? The next idea you have to want to act on? What's the next thing you want to do in this new year?
Some of the things that I would like to do. Some of these things would have to definitely be photography related. Most definitely.
I can't wait to gotta get you. I'm excited for you to pick your brand name, because when I sat down and brainstormed and created the Haggard Innovations logo, and I never thought I'd be here.
Yeah.
I never thought like that little logo would be plastered on so many pieces of art and products and media, and
yep.
I produce 2 shows.
Right.
I create 8 more. I'm so, I like I said to you, I'm excited to help foster that creativity by shouldering the burden of the boring work.
Right.
I want to make it so you're able to create and create and create.
Yeah, so I'm definitely, it's I like doing it. Like, I don't know what's good, I don't know what's bad yet. I'm still learning. I've learned a lot, and I know that I enjoy it, because, like, learning about it doesn't seem tedious. It's not something that makes me go to sleep. It makes me want to, like, click on the next video, and see what this person has to say. And so,
and all I want to do is I want to make sure you get credit, and I want to make sure you get paid.
Yeah. Well, that should.
And I know that's not important to you.
Yeah.
But you know what? I would love it if 10 years from now, after doing this stuff, you're able to. You could do it. You don't have to DoorDash. You don't have to pick up a side job. You can spend your days creating the things you like.
That would be ideal.
And you know what? The biggest hurdle to that is doing it. Yep. And setting up the framework to make it succeed.
Mm-hmm.
I have the framework. I'm doing it right now. And I have no problem taking that load off your hands.
Yeah, so that would definitely be the thing that I'm most excited about, for sure. Absolutely.
I'm also impressed that you were able to kind of break yourself down like this and rebuild it, in a sense, without having to partake in psychedelics.
Not yet, man. I'm trying to convince Bree. And we actually had that we go through these arguments every night, every single night. We have the same argument about me taking, like, acid, and she always she knows that she's so close-minded in it that it's actually humorous.
She's self-aware, so she knows that she doesn't have a leg to stand on, but she's so damn vehement about it.
Yeah.
We need to call Dan.
Yeah, she demonizes it just like they did, like, with weed. Exactly. And
do you remember when I ate my first edible?
Yeah. It wasn't. Wasn't really edibles, and we were just like
that shit was we were out in 3 hours. Like we were sleeping 3
roofie.
hours.
Yeah, the shit was a roofie. It wasn't even high. Just like passed the fuck out.
Like I'm like, bro, why am I moving so slow? This shit sucks, bro. Let me get down the fucking car. I was struggling.
Yeah.
Oh man.
But
let's we got about a handful of minutes left before the podcast is over. You know, this is the last episode of season 2. This is the last episode of 2020.
Right.
Who knows what the future might bring? But either way, it'll be fun.
Absolutely.
I do a thing called the shout out segments. I'm sure if you remember from the last time you were on.
I do, and as the last time, I still don't. I didn't come prepared, so I'm gonna like kind of come off the top of the dome.
Let me do a handful of people and let you think for a second.
All right, go ahead. Go for it.
Shout out to my buddy Will Landis. Me and him have been. You can check us out live on Twitch. Check our schedule to see when we're going to be live, and you can watch us live during the Babblebox podcast and chit chat with us during our hour-long parlay every week. Every week going forward. Shout out to my buddy Sean and his podcast, The Foul Line, the sports podcast that is produced by HIMedia, and you can check it out at bit.ly/HIM Foul Line. Shout out to Anthony Lopez or Solasonic21 on YouTube. He makes fantastic gameplay videos. He makes fantastic Let's Plays. Go check him out. He's most certainly deserving of your time. Keep an eye out on the PT Sean YouTube channel because every and the HIMedia YouTube channel, because me and my buddy Sean have been doing a vlog series back and forth to one another, and we would love to hear your comments and input on each video in the comments below. So please go check that out. Lastly, keep an eye out on the Proving Grounds podcast, our political podcast, where I am currently fleshing out my political theory that at the end of the day, American politics can be surmised by the belief in something as yes or no. Is taxation theft? And you can usually figure out somebody's political ideology based around their answer to that question. Right, you got anything?
Well,
you can do one or two people. It don't have to be as many as me.
Oh no, it could never. I don't think I even know as many people as you know. That was. Well, shout out to my baby Bree. Who's like.
Who I am so happy is in your life, by the way.
As am I. And shout out to just everybody. Shout out to love. That's it. That's my shout out. I love being here.
You're such a damn cornball.
I am, man. I am. I'm
well,
all
we
of
love
it.
you.
I'm all of it. I'm all of it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the High Soapbox. This has been season 2. Thank you so much for listening, and we look forward to seeing you in the year of our Lord 2021.